Hello, kids. How are you all today? Hope you all are doing well. Today, I will explain a very interesting poem written by Robert Louis Stevenson, and the name of the poem is My Shadow. तो प्लीज़ वीडियो में एंड तक बने रहिएगा और मेरी वीडियो को लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा. Let's begin with the poem My Shadow. Do you know whenever there is a light, someone follows you? Have you ever wondered who it is? No, don't be afraid, kids. It is not any ghost or a spirit that follows you. It is just your shadow. Let's start reading. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. So, My Shadow, it is a poem about a child and his shadow which always moves with him. His shadow resembles him. It does exactly the same as what the child does. So, here in these lines, the poet is saying that I have a little shadow and I am very excited to see it as it moves everywhere along with me. He starts noticing things about his own shadow. He notices that it resembles him. He also sees that the shadow does the same thing as he does. For example, when he goes in and out, it follows him. Everything from head to toe is the same in his shadow. He notices that sometimes when he jumps into the bed, the shadow gets in before he can. The feeling of his shadow following him excites him a lot. Here, the poet also questions himself that what is the use of his shadow? And he answers that he still has to find it. Now let's move on to the next stanza. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoot up taller like an Indian rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there is none of him at all. So, here in these lines, the child notices the most funniest things about his own shadow. He says that sometimes the shadow grows tall and sometimes it gets very small. He compares the height of the shadow with an Indian rubber ball, which when bounces reach to the great height. He says that it is not like the normal kids who grow at normal rate. Everything excites him as he has not seen anything like this before. He realizes that the shadow is not like other children. It does not have the normal behavior. Now let's move on to the next stanza. One morning, very early before the sun I was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an iron sleepy head, he stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. So here, iron sleepy head means completely inattentive. In these lines, the poet describes about the morning experience of the child. The child gets up early in the morning before the sunrise. The morning is beautiful and dewy, and he can see the dew on every yellow flower present there. As the sun is on the horizon, there is not much light around him, and so the shadow is not formed. Being the naive child, he is so excited that his shadow did not follow him for the first time. So he assumes that the shadow is so lazy that it did not get up in the morning and is still sleeping in bed. He thinks so because the shadow always jump into the bed with him, So he assumes it is still asleep. So this is the end of the poem. If you have any queries, any problems related to this poem, please do comment me. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय.